Let's do a quick unboxing. There's a lot of stuff inside. The usual Orlandoo stickers, stick parts, a lot of plastic parts, bag D, bag C, bag X with the tools and the screws, screwdriver. I will not use it. I will use 000 Phillips head and 00. More plastic bag A, more plastic bag A, C, D, E, more tires, a lot of tires here. Bag B, the trailer. This trailer does not have to be painted because, wow. That's a lot of metal inside. This does not seem to be an easy build. There's not more inside. This is not labeled Black Series. Wow. So I will start the build now. What we will need is plastic glue. Don't know which one. I have the Tamiya ones. We need small screwdrivers. I will not use the Orlandoo screwdriver. I use mainly 000 screwdrivers for the Orlandoo screws, and also 00 Phillips. Always have a lot of screwdrivers around because I lose them constantly in the mess on the table. And then where's the screwdriver? So I have 2 or 3 of each kind here. Of course, forceps, tweezers always come handy, and some clippers to get all the plastic off. Wow, that's more a static model than an Orlandoo RC model. So I will now do the build, but won't make a full build video. I will start and show you in the instructions what I do or did, and then show you the final results step by step. And if there are any problems, then I will talk about it, and I will show you the installation and soldering of the LEDs in detail, and finally hopefully also how to mount them to the light controller and how to make them work. So let's start with step 1, building those kind of shocks and those suspension parts. Step 2, 3, step 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So red part trees are empty. And I can tell you it's not easy. Wow. In part 1 we have to build 8 of those kind of shocks. And it's not super easy. The problem is everything's tiny, but those shafts do not have an opening for a screwdriver inside, so you have to grip it here, and it's not easy to get these rod ends, those tiny red rod ends, to start. So what did I do? I took the shaft with a plier, but with a smooth surface, and then started the rod end, and I could get most of the rod ends up to the end, but not all, and believe me, it hurts in your fingers. And because I did not dare to stick a tiny rod through those super tiny rod ends in those 2 or 3 which I couldn't finish with my hurting fingers, I used a further plier with smooth surface to finish it. It started not easy and took quite a time to make 8 of those, but it continued even more difficult. Steps 2 and 3 were super easy, only to screw those parts together. But now comes step 4. And if you don't like C-clips or E-clips, you probably should not do this build. First, I couldn't find the C-clips. You need a lot of those. And then I found that they are here in masking tape. Super, super tiny E-clips, and they give you a lot because you will need a lot, you will lose some. And first recommendation, if you want to get them out, take them only one by one. If you take two, pop, and one's already gone. So unbelievably tiny E-clips. And those E-clips have to be pressed on those shafts. There are two different lengths of shafts. There are shorter ones, which I didn't have to build yet, but also accept E-clips, so it's not finished. Here you need the longer ones, and this was really super difficult, I thought, initially. You have to start only with the shaft, pressing the first E-clip to the shaft and then insert the shaft. And that's even more difficult than the second one. I struggle a lot in the first one, but what I then found, don't use any pointed pliers. You see I have a lot more tools now because I needed them. They are all rounded. Maybe you have pliers with sharp edges. And that way I took those tiny E-clips, check the picture, and then could press it quite easily to the shaft. So this then worked. I needed two to train, but the third and fourth worked already quite well. And then you have to insert those here and mount those shocks that way. And a further recommendation, you see here are those tiny E-clips here and here. Insert the side with the E-clip on it here, then that's open at this time. You have here a flat surface and can quite easily, of course only quite easily, clip on the second E-clip, because you have here if you insert the side with the clip on from that side, you have here not a lot of room. But if you do it that way, then press it and then take the E-clip, and with the pliers, or I could even do one with a finger, and then it worked. But wow, how tiny are those, and there are more waiting. After 4 of those shafts mounting those shocks, step 6 and 7 were quite easy, mounting those parts and screwing them to this whatever axis part. And to finish the red part 3, I also took step 9 and mounted those parts here. Super easy, but this was quite a bummer. Wow, wow, wow. I did build every Orlandoo kit so far, and I guess that was the most difficult part of all, but installing the electronics in the bouncer. So let's go on. And now let's continue with step 10, the suspension, and check this. Wow, wow, wow. More and more and more E-clips, and you have to do it 2 times, and even more E-clips. Whew. And step 11, then the suspension part here should be finished. Step 10 and 11 done. 2 suspension parts. C-clips, C-clips, C-clips. Wow. 24 more of those super tiny C-clips. And especially those ones here on this position are horrible to mount. I lost quite a lot. That's what's left. 7/8 are somewhere around here. But this was hopefully the most difficult part in building this trailer. Let's go on.